Otukpo Dam in Benue State, north-central Nigeria, was started in 2010. It has a reservoir capacity of 100 cubic meters and will generate 3.3 megawatts hydroelectricity when completed. It also incorporates a 2,000-hectare irrigation scheme. Presently, it is about 70% completed. The most ambitious hydropower project embarked upon by the ministry since the construction of the major three is the Zungeru Dam. The President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, on the 28th of May 2013, at the dam site, performed the groundbreaking ceremony of this 700 megawatt hydroelectric power project in Niger State. When completed in 4 years, the dam will be the second highest supplier of hydroelectricity in Nigeria after Kainji Dam.
Kainji, Zungeru, Mambila, as well as dams in Ghana and the rest of the British colonial empire in West Africa, were all conceived at the same time. Zungeru and Mambila never came on stream on the drawing board for about 30 years, in case of Zungeru, 30, 40 years. But the good news is that Mr. President flagged it off. But it's not just flagging off and leaving it there, but construction work has actually started. So Zungeru is going to bring in 700 megawatts of power, which is a lot, considering the fact that all the three hydro projects, Jeba, Shiodo, and Kainji, were all just bringing in about 1,000 megawatts.
The ministry is not resting on its oars, but constantly finding ways of improving electricity supply in the country and alleviating the sufferings of the people. This it hopes to achieve through increased hydropower generation, especially as it is cost-effective, renewable, and ozone-friendly. The National Economic Council recently approved $1.72 billion counterpart funding to cover Zungeru, Mambila, and Gurara II hydropower projects.
Government is investing significantly in hydro, especially Mambila. We're already working on Zungeru, which is 700 megawatts. Mambila will give us 3,050 megawatts, and there are others, maybe about 20 of them, that are actually ready for exploitation, but these are for small hydros. Government is actually moving in that direction.
Development of the small hydros, for example, the National Economic Council, NEC, which is chaired by the Vice President, and also the Vice Governors in attendance, already approved the sum of $1.65 billion for us to develop hydropower. And that will come from the NIPP plans that we're going to sell to reinvest $1.65 billion into development of hydros. So for that to be either as fully developing the small hydros, and in case of the bigger ones like Mambila, Gurara II, and maybe TC and some other ones, using it as our own contribution to PPP, working with foreign investors.
It is hoped that a similar takeoff ceremony for the 3,050 megawatt Mambila and 360 megawatt Gurara II hydroelectric power projects will take place soon. The funding for these projects, which are to be executed in partnership with the private sector, have been secured, and the federal government equity has already been paid.
To show you the commitment of government, 1.7, a significant portion of it will only be the seed contribution of government. For instance, Mambila is going to take over $6 billion US. So we are getting the remaining 85% from China Exim Bank and China Development Bank. So that is a long-term commitment on the part of government, that government is going to continue to ensure that these things are in place and that the funding is there to complete the plan, and then government will, over the next couple of decades, retire the debts.
Any investment in the power sector, the things come in duty-free. Government has done that to encourage investment in power. We're going towards 40,000 megawatts. To encourage that, there's duty-free regime for the capital investments into the power sector. That is what the best you can get in any country, anywhere. In addition, the federal government is also gotten a World Bank partial risk guarantee. So World Bank has guaranteed what the bulk trader is doing. I think that is the greatest incentive. So anybody investing already has a PPA. Azura is one of the new young Nigerians coming to invest in power, but thermal power around Benin, and already they've got a PPA. Even before they start construction, there's an agreement, and we're doing that with other investors in thermal power. We are now developing, NBET is developing a framework for coal to power. We already have a framework for solar, for those who want to invest in solar, for a PPA once they enter the grid. So these are major incentives to investors. And like you know, the greatest of all the incentives is that the return on investment. There is no country in the world that has the kind of return on investment you have in Nigeria. The market is there. You don't have to search anywhere for any market. The internal market is huge. And there's suppressed demand for power. So once anybody invests, it's like within few years, 1, 2, 3 years, you're smiling daily to the bank.
You can only imagine how good it will be to restore the textile, automobile, and other industries in Nigeria to their former glory, and also support small businesses and households in urban and rural communities. The Federal Ministry of Power is not only imagining, it is working hard to guarantee the well-being and improved quality of life of Nigerians as a result of access to a more reliable supply of electricity through hydropower generation.